So this is November 28th, 2021, and since the last video, the things I've done are planing down the shear clamp, which is this piece of wood. Basically, is a square or rectangular piece here, and it needed to be angled a little bit for the curve of the deck. So playing that down. Chesapeake Lightcraft has this nice thing that they send you with the kit that helps you set that angle. So this thing here, just you set it up across the boat like that, and just playing it down till it all fits and it's the right angle. So basically that's what I did. Just move this up and down and a little hand plane and planed it. So that part's done. Let's see, the forward mast is now in place. That's attached to the mast step down below. This is that other deck piece, which is now all epoxied in. And what I did here is basically I've got some Kevlar rope packing material like you would use in a furnace or a boiler, and I've done this before. Basically I just take this, mix up a bunch of epoxy, stuff it in the epoxy, squish it all around, obviously with my gloves on and everything, get it well saturated, then just wring it out, and then just wrap it around. It works really well for place like this where you're trying to go around something, like if you use tape or carbon or cloth material, whatever. You really can't go round and around something like that. It doesn't want to follow that sort of a curve that much. Even the biaxial tape that I've been using here doesn't wrap around that nicely. So this is just a way to do that. So I did that there. So this is all nice, and it's still a little bit tacky, but it's just about done. And it all came out really well. This is the mast partner that's sitting here now. So I will epoxy this into place, and then I'm going to put a couple layers of the tape material over the front of it just to reinforce this general area in here, and some more down there. Once I screw this down and epoxy it and screw it down or whatever, this will follow the curve of the deck, and the regular deck piece will then go right on top of that. Then up here, where the ends of the carlin come along to this extra, I added this extra bulkhead here to fill in some of the space, give it a little bit more strength. So I'm going to epoxy this in place to give that something to sit on, and also adding these little strips because that doesn't come up nicely to the curve of the deck. And then this is a piece that would have been just cut off back here, but I extended it up a little bit farther, and I'm just going to add this little wedge shaped piece on top so that follows the curve of the deck also, and then the deck can also be attached to this. Also threw in these couple pieces of plywood here. There's this one here and that one on the other side, and that's for future bolting a cleat to either side. And so at some point there'll be a couple of bow chocks, so the rope will, if I'm attached to a mooring, rope will be coming through the bow chocks, and I can bring it back and put it around the cleat, on one side or the other, or both if I want to make a bridle thing out of it. And so looking forward and thinking about putting the deck on shortly, we'll be working on that. And I thought it would be great to have some places where, because the deck's only 1/4 of an inch thick, so if I want to add a cleat or something else to the deck in a few places, then I wanted to have a reinforced area. So I just cut these pieces out. These are 3/8 thick plywood, and these are just sort of resting in here. They're just sort of a snug fit, so they're just sitting in place, but I'm going to pop those out soon and epoxy those up and stick them in. So I've got 4 of them on each side. So probably cleat back there aft, and one forward for like tying up to a dock, and then maybe a couple of small cleats amidships here to can hang a couple of fenders on that just to keep it cushioned from the dock. So this boat's got a lot of curve to it. So the only, if it's tied up parallel to the dock, basically the only place that's going to want to touch is right here. So if we got a couple of tiny cleats that I can hang a couple little fenders on, and then, run a couple of ropes off to the dock with a cleat back there, and then one up here, that should do it. So yeah, so it's come along pretty good. Once I get this stuff epoxied in, then really the next step is to start working on the deck pieces. So I'll talk about that in another video or something. But I am really happy with the way the forward mast came out. It's super solid, even though this isn't epoxied in at all yet. But that's really good because it's into this piece here, and then really well supported underneath. I did some of the same Kevlar rope wrapping around it down to the bottom just for good measure. So yeah, I'll stand up here on the ladder so I get a view of the whole thing. Yeah, so that's what it looks like.